Hi everybody, my name is Clayton Duggan. I'm the upper primary music teacher and the coordinator of primary school performing arts at the British School in New Delhi, India. Before I get down to it, thanks to Graham and Ed for putting this whole thing together and Sneh at the British School, New Delhi for getting me in touch with them. Here we go. The Petzold recorder was developed in the 1970s by Herbert Petzold. He based the design off of Baroque church organs that were made with square pipes instead of round, and he was able to use plywood to create large instruments. This made them more accessible because they were a lot easier to make. The Petzold recorders quickly became a favorite of contemporary artists. A great example of that is the Sour Cream Trio that explored all the ways that these instruments could make sound. Definitely check them out. My first experience with these recorders was Sarah Jeffrey with Team Recorder on YouTube. She has a few videos about the Petzold recorders and goes into greater depth than I have time for today, and also is an amazing musician and has lots of information about recorders, period. So you should definitely go and check out her videos. The Petzold brand was sold to Kunath upon his retirement. Yo Kunath started innovating with the recorders. He created a direct blow recorder with the large instruments, and then eventually, with his son, started developing a way to 3D print recorders. They use a composite material that is similar to the hardness of a rosewood, but it's made out of a very durable plastic and wood composite. This has ended up creating a much lighter instrument and a less expensive instrument because Kunath is able to pass on the savings because this recorder is being done by the machine rather than the hours and hours of labor needed. Today I'm going to be playing on two different recorders. The larger of the two is the contrabass instrument that starts on F below the bass clef. The smaller of the two is this tenor recorder, which starts on middle C. It's also a keyed instrument like the contrabass and is a very recent addition to the family, which has only been made possible because of the 3D printing. You could not make this instrument with plywood. So with the 3D printing tech, they're able to make the thin walls needed for this. I also think this is an amazing instrument because it reduces the spread of the fingers. So a child could very easily pick this up as easily as a soprano and start playing it. In fact, I wish that I could get these for all of my students because then the lowest note would be middle C instead of starting on much higher than that. Even if you never get one of these Petzold recorders, I recommend having a range of sizes at least at your disposal in the classroom. The soprano is obviously the instrument that the children learn to play, but the tenor size, whether it's this or a more traditional tenor, is in the same range that children's voices sing in. So it makes it a great instrument to accompany children or to use as an example. I believe that having more sizes of the recorder in your classroom also adds more credibility to the instrument as an instrument itself. I've got everything in my room from a Garkline, which plays an octave above the soprano, to this contrabass, which plays obviously all the way down there. So for the performance today, I'm playing on these two recorders, and I will be doing an a cappella arrangement by Moses Hogan of an African American spiritual called Deep River. The text of Deep River has to do with this idea of crossing over the River Jordan. This crept up a lot in spirituals as both the idea of moving on to heaven, but also moving physically to a place of freedom. Right now, all over the world, people are protesting and calling out for a change in the systemic racism that pervades policing and society. And I wanted to pick a piece of music that could highlight this moment. One of the most famous performances of this song was by an opera singer named Marian Anderson. In 1939, she was denied a performance in Constitution Hall in Washington, D.C. Eleanor Roosevelt and her husband found out about this, and they put on a performance for an integrated audience of 75,000 people in front of the Lincoln Memorial, also in D.C. That was a long time ago. There's still a long way to go, and I just wanted to do some small part to add a little bit more awareness to this moment. So I hope you've enjoyed my short presentation today about these 3D printed Petzold recorders. Thanks again for having me. Enjoy the performance. If you have any questions for me, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr_Duggan. Enjoy. Thanks.